Nemesis is a jungle solo goddess who does physical damage and doesn't have fishnets anymore. Cope. She has a lot of different playstyles, so it might be a bit harder to just pick up and play well. So let me, a Grandmaster Smite 1 player, help you learn this really fun and interesting character. Just a reminder that this is a beta, so things are subject to change. If a major change happens to Nemesis, I'll remake this guide for you. Also note, with aspects now being a factor, the order I'm going to do things is going to be normal until I reach the part of the god's kit in which the aspect affects it. So, in the case of Nemesis, I will discuss it after her ultimate. Now, with that out of the way, let's start. Nemesis' passive, Scales of Fate, is an effect on her basic attacks, which reduces the target's in-hand power, strength, and intelligence while increasing hers by 7% per stack. This stacks up to 3 times. This reduction does not have a cap on the targets. It stacks up to 3 times on each of the targets, but switching targets does not mean you can go over 3 on yourself. At least to my knowledge, you cannot get over 3 stacks. However, getting another basic attack off allows you to refresh the timer. What does in-hand power mean? Well, I'm pretty sure it's the power and damage of your basic attacks, but it says basic attacks everywhere else in the game when referring to it. To my knowledge, this is leftover text from the alpha that they are still fixing. Regardless, this passive may not seem like much, but this is why basic attack canceling between your abilities on Nemesis is so crucial to success. Basic attack canceling is a core concept on certain characters. If you watch my Susanoo or Thor guides, I mentioned it there, but I'll go over it briefly again here. Basic attack canceling is interrupting the basic attack animation after the damage goes off with an ability, because you're not stuck in that basic attack animation. This also takes away the movement speed penalty that comes with basic attacking, allowing you to keep up with the target you're chasing. Nemesis' first ability, Swift Vengeance, is a short double dash. Shout out Mario Kart. This ability passes through all enemies it hits and does damage. After your first ability, you can dash again within the next 2 seconds. During these 2 seconds, you can basic attack, cast a different ability, do anything you would normally do before dashing. However, if you play on normal or quick cast, you have to right click to cancel the ability before doing anything other than dashing. Then use the ability again as if you were casting it normally. However, if the 2 seconds run out, it goes on cooldown. Nemesis' second ability, Slice and Dice, is a cone with 3 triangles in it. It scales with both strength and intelligence. Targets hit in the center of the cone take additional damage and are slowed for 30% for 2 seconds. You don't have to hit the center, but hitting the center gives you the most damage and the CC that comes with the ability, so it's best to do that. Nemesis' third ability, Retribution, is a health shield that scales with both strength and intelligence, but in different ways. If you're hit while the shield is active, you reflect 40% of the damage blocked with the shield, with an additional 20% strength scaling. You heal 50% of that damage blocked, with 10% intelligence scaling added onto it. The shield lasts for 2 seconds or until you are hit with a hard crowd control, something like a knockup or a stun. The shield is also an amazing basic attack canceling tool, so if you're trying to learn the concept, Nemesis shield is definitely a way to learn it. Nemesis' ultimate, Divine Judgment, chooses a single target dealing damage to them and all enemies around them in an area. Nemesis gains movement speed and a percentage of that enemy's protections, while reducing both to the one she targets by the same amount. This lasts for 5 seconds. The damage scales with both strength and intelligence. It's impossible to miss this ability. It will always hit an enemy god. You are literally unable to cast it if you do not have an enemy god on its targeter. Nemesis' Aspect of Judgment, takes the damage off this ability in exchange for averaging the current health of you and the enemy god you target, as long as you have less health than them. If you cast this on one of them and you have more health than them, this bonus effect won't trigger, and you will only gain the other effects of this ability with no damage. Nemesis is a really interesting character. She can be built in so many different ways. You can build her in the basic attack focus with things like Kins or Golden Blade, where you're more likely to play a tank shred sort of style, where you ult the tank in the late game and you just destroy them so quickly. There's also a split pushing build that I've been seeing going around with Sunbeam Bow. Scream even played it at the most recent LAN. He also, spoilers, won that LAN. You could also go for an ability-based build while focusing more on those basic attack cancels, things like Jotuns or Hydra's Lament, which would help you deal with more squishier targets like the carries or mids on the enemy team. With the Aspect, you could do different playstyles and do something like an unkillable drain tank, where you start a fight by taking a ton of damage and get very low before ulting the enemy tank, taking away a ton of their HP. It's really an open kitchen for you to experiment with this character. However, if you want some guidance, I recommend Smite 2.live. It'll be linked in the description as always, and it's better than me just throwing you a build, because that build could be outdated within a few days, weeks, months. You get what I mean. You'll get to see what the best are building and choose what you like from there. Other than that though, hope this helped. If it did, a like and a sub would be appreciated. Until next time, peace.